There's a certain peace that comes when you stop trying to be understood. A peace that only arrives after you've spent years explaining yourself to people who never wanted to listen. You see, being misunderstood isn't a punishment. It's proof that you're evolving beyond the limits of their understanding. Most people only see what fits their version of reality. They don't see your struggle, your late nights, your quiet endurance. They only see what they can categorize. And when you no longer fit inside their box, they label you different, distant, or cold. But difference isn't rejection, it's growth. When your heart begins to value peace more than validation, the world begins to misread your silence. You'll notice it, how people start drifting away, not because you changed for the worse, but because you stopped performing for their comfort. Silence becomes your rebellion. Calm becomes your power. You stop answering every criticism. You stop attending every argument you're invited to. You realize that peace isn't the absence of noise. It's the mastery of your reaction to it. And when you master that, they call you emotionless. They call you proud. But what they don't see is how long it took you to find that calm. They don't see how much you had to unlearn to protect your peace. You see, when you outgrow your old version, people who only knew that version will feel betrayed. They'll accuse you of changing. But what they call change is actually healing. You've simply stopped living to please others and started living to preserve yourself. The misunderstood ones walk a quieter path. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, it's not loud. It's lonely, but it's real. You start spending more time alone, not because you dislike people, but because solitude doesn't drain you. You sit with your own thoughts and learn that not all silence is empty. Some silence is full of answers. You learn to smile even when no one notices. You find comfort in small moments that no one claps for. Morning coffee, rain against the window, a night where your mind finally rests. Being misunderstood teaches you to stop explaining yourself, because explanation rarely changes perception. People see what they want to see. So you let them think you're cold, while in truth, you're simply calm. You let them believe you've changed, while in truth, you've finally started being yourself. You let them assume you're distant, while in truth, you've just created boundaries that protect your energy. This is the paradox of peace. The more peace you find, the fewer people understand you. But that's okay, because peace is personal. It doesn't require applause or agreement. It's the quiet realization that you don't need to prove your worth anymore. There's beauty in that silence. There's power in being unbothered. There's peace in walking away from chaos that doesn't deserve your attention. You'll start noticing how you no longer crave validation from people who misunderstand your intentions. You no longer want to be liked by everyone because you've seen how shallow everyone can be. You no longer explain your dreams because people who don't believe in themselves will never believe in you. You no longer chase love because you've learned that love built on understanding must come naturally, not through explanation. The misunderstood ones live in a different rhythm. They think deeply, feel deeply, and love quietly. Their peace doesn't come from attention, it comes from alignment. Every misunderstood soul has once been the too much or the too quiet for someone else. But those same qualities, the intensity, the silence, the reflection, become their greatest strengths. When you stop trying to be understood, you start to truly understand yourself. You realize that peace is not found in control, but in surrender. You stop trying to force life to make sense to others and start accepting that it only needs to make sense to you. And then, everything slows down. The noise fades, the need to prove disappears, the weight on your chest begins to lift. You start appreciating your own company. You start building a home inside your soul. You stop apologizing for being different. The misunderstood ones often walk alone, but they walk in truth. They see beyond illusions. They understand that not everyone is ready for depth. Some people will only ever meet the surface version of you, and that's fine. You don't have to lower your depth just to be seen. Remember, peace and popularity rarely live in the same house. The more at peace you become, the less accessible you will be. The more you heal, the more you outgrow certain energies. The more you know your worth, the less you chase what doesn't align. You start valuing silence over validation, calm over control, reality over approval. And that's when life truly becomes peaceful, not because it's easy, but because you finally stopped fighting to be seen. The world doesn't need to understand your peace. It only needs to feel it through your actions, your calm, and your quiet strength. So stop apologizing for your peace. Stop explaining your boundaries. Stop begging to be understood by people who misunderstand themselves. The beauty of being misunderstood is that you finally meet the version of you that doesn't need to explain anymore. The version that simply is. And that version, silent, calm, free, is unstoppable.